Running is a simple sport, yet so many people get it wrong. Today I'm going to share with you how you can improve your own running form by simply using a phone and a camera. We're going to keep this simple. A lot of people like to overcomplicate running forms and kind of go in too deep. We're going to keep this very simple. First of all, so it'll be easy for you to understand and improve, and second of all, that it stays in line with my English level.
I speak English good.
In the end of the day, we're all designed to move, to walk, to run, so this is gotta be basic, but as long as you can do a couple of little things and remember a couple of little things, you'll be able to run faster, run stronger, and most importantly, stay away from injuries. Alright, step one, place your phone or your camera along a wall or something that can hold it and you can record yourself. If you have a friend, that's great for you, and you can ask them to record you running. If they say no or try and get away from it, try offering them money. That usually works for me. Step two, run past your phone or your camera. We want to make sure that the pace is a little bit quicker so we can see your running form under a little bit of pressure. And you want to get a couple of runs going side on and then a couple straight onto the camera. So place the camera and run towards it. Last second, just weave off so you don't break your camera, so we can get that front view as well. And just as a little side note, before you start running, make sure you get a quick warm-up, so maybe a few minute jog, some stretches, before you run a bit quicker in front of the camera. Also, if you have a slow-mo option on your phone, record in slow-mo, because that way it'll be a bit easier to have a look at the footage and analyze that later on. And make sure if you are using a cameraman, make sure he does not move the camera, so he holds it still so we can get a still image of you running. Okay, well done. Now that you have the footage, let's just watch over your footage. So have a look at yourself running at the camera. It's probably going to surprise you that you don't look as graceful as what you've been thinking for the past few years, and you might not look as smooth as what you've imagined. But we're going to start looking at your landing. So we're going to see what the foot is doing when it touches the ground. So from this side-on view, there should be three different options. Or you're landing on your front of your foot, midfoot, or you're a heel striker and you're landing on your heel. And just as a little side note, if you're landing on your heel, but you've been running consistently since you were a kid, and you run well and you don't have any injuries or niggles, I would not really change anything. It's working for you this way, so I'll keep it that way. But if you started running a bit later on in life, you are landing on your heel, you can see in the footage you just shot that you are landing on your heel, then we can definitely look into that and see how we can improve that. So stick around and we'll be talking a little bit more about how you can improve that heel landing to go a bit more onto the midfoot. And you're probably sitting in front of the screen right now and asking yourself, but Mr. Vlad, why is midfoot landing better than heel landing?
Yes, Mr. Vlad, I'll tell them.
So pretty much the difference between landing on your midfoot or your forefoot and heel striking is that it's a lot softer. So realistically, if you think about this, here I am jumping nice and soft. I'm actually using the natural ability of my foot to bounce, where if I try and jump on my heels, it becomes very heavy on my body, on my joints. And actually there was a study in the university that I went to just down the road, Howard University, Harvard University. There was a study in a university that I didn't go to, that they tested 52 cross-country runners, and the runners that were landing on the heel strikers, were twice as likely to get injured. Obviously, if you're a front foot runner or a midfoot runner, there is a chance of you getting injured as well. Those chances are probably just a bit lower in certain types of injuries. So when it comes to knee injuries and hip injuries, if you're a heel striker, you're probably more likely to get them. If you're a midfoot or a front foot runner, you're probably more likely to get injuries around your ankles, around your feet. So you're still likely to get injuries, but just different types of injuries depending on where you're landing. But the thing is that when you are landing on your heel, there is a lot of impact. So that heavy impact goes from your feet to your knees to your hips. So it's a lot softer when you are landing on your midfoot, on your front foot, on your toes. It's a little bit more bouncy, but that midfoot kind of finds that balance between softening that landing a lot more. All right, now that you know where your foot is landing and what position it's landing, now we're gonna work out where you are landing compared to your body and how are they actually connected together. So as you can see right here, I'm landing right underneath my body, and right here I'm overstriding and landing in front of my body. Let me explain a little bit more. So if I'm landing right here in front of my body, I'm obviously getting to the point where I have to almost brake. So I land in front of my body, usually on your heel, down, and then my whole body goes over it. So I'm kind of landing, and then all that weight has to transfer to the front so I can take the next stride forward. What we want to try and get to is landing straight underneath my body. So from here, I got more power to push off. So imagine, for example, if I was trying to jump off one leg. So if that foot is right underneath my body, I can jump and I have a lot of power to jump forward. If that foot is in front of me and I want to jump forward on one foot, then it becomes very hard and I have to actually bend my hips to be able to do it. And that's why a lot of injuries from overstriding, are caused in the hips, because you almost have to like move your whole hips over your body so you can keep moving forward. Again, and I'll keep repeating this. If you've been heel striking for a very long time and you don't have any injuries, you don't have any niggles, please don't change your running form. But if you have some little injuries here and there on a regular basis, few niggles here and there, and you just recorded yourself and you did notice that you're overstriding, heel striking, that's probably a good time to try and change that. We want to get to the point where you are landing straight underneath your body so you have that power to push forward. Usually overstriding and heel striking go hand in hand together. So let's have a look at a couple of drills and a couple of things that you can be doing to try and improve that. All right, so now that you have decided that maybe you should try and change your running form to a more midfoot landing and landing underneath your body, let's think about the ways that you want to go about it. First of all, that change has to be done slowly. So you've been running one way for a very long time, but we want to start making that change. You can't just expect yourself from now on to be able to make that change straight away. So that change has to come gradually. So we're talking about, like, let's say you're aiming to do at least 10 minutes a week for the first few weeks, and then build up from that 10 minutes to more and more time landing on your midfoot and underneath your body. Because if you try and make that change too quick, your body's gonna go, whoa, what is going on? We've been running this way for so long. How come suddenly you want to change to this? And you will start feeling little niggles and injuries coming along. Second thing you can start adding on to your running is a little bit of barefoot running, because then you'll be able to start seeing what is your natural running form, and you should see that it's a little bit more on the midfoot area of the foot, and that will kind of help that transition to be able to run with that midfoot landing straight underneath your body with shoes on. So again, you gotta start very slowly with this. Don't go out there and start doing 20K runs barefooted on the roads. Start with a bit of grass, try and do 2 or 3 minutes, come back 4 or 5 days later, do another 2 or 3 minutes, and give yourself that time. Your body needs that time to adjust, to make sure that that transition is smooth and you don't get any injuries or niggles along the way. We're also gonna go through a couple of little drills that I just want you to do probably 3 or 4 times while you're making that transition, only so you can learn the wrong things and the right thing, so when you're actually running on the road by yourself, you know when your running form is off and you can easily make that change. So it's very good to watch a YouTube video and go, all right, that's gonna change my running form, but the real change is gonna be you creating that connection between your brain and your feet and your legs, so you know when you are landing on your heel. So we're gonna do a couple of basic drills here just for you to learn what it feels like. And you wanna do this a few times only, just so you start creating that connection between your brain and your legs. So when it does happen in the real world, you can make that change and kind of go, okay, I'm landing again on my heels. Let's refocus here. Because if you're not gonna create that connection, it'll be very, very hard to create a long-lasting change in your running form. And the last thing that you wanna obviously be doing is recording yourself on a regular basis, so you get to see and get to learn those things yourself. That way you'll be able to control your running form, that it's on the right track, and that change is coming to like the proper way of staying on track with it. All right, so this is the drills that are not gonna change your running form. Those are the drills that are gonna teach you what you're doing wrong, so you can make the changes later and you are aware of what your body is actually doing. All right, the first one is I want you to run on your heels. Very, very simple. I want you to really over-exaggerate heel landing. All right, so we're gonna do this. All right, the second one is I want you to really over-exaggerate your stride, a lot more than usual, so you get a feel of really big stride of landing in front of your body. All right, so we're looking for this. So again, not the drills that are gonna fix your running form, but the drills you wanna be doing to learn what is wrong and what is right. All right, the third one is really getting onto your toes. So I want you to over-exaggerate running on your toes. So get up onto your toes as high as you can and just run slowly forward, really nice and easy. So really over-exaggerating where you should be feeling it. All right, and last one, I want you to over-exaggerate running with your knees a lot higher, because when we are gonna be running, we wanna feel those knees going up and forward, not just forward. All right, so for you to be able to land under your body, you have to learn how to launch up and forward, not just forward. So a lot of the time when they run, they would do this instead of up, forward, down, under. All right, so we want to be doing this, not this. All right, so this drill will over-exaggerate lifting the knees really high up. All right, so I want to be running, lifting the knees about 5 centimeters higher than what they usually are, while I'm still staying on my toes. All right, so we got those 4 drills that I just want you to go out there a few times, do for about 3 or 4 minutes each, just so you get the feeling of what is wrong. All right, once you start understanding what is wrong, you'll start it's all gonna start clicking in your head. Then you're gonna get the camera out and you're gonna run past the camera with the right form that you think it should be, which you should, landing straight underneath your body, landing on the midfoot. All right, so get your camera out, put it there, and do a couple of 50-meter strides where you run past in slow-mo, run past once or twice, go have a look at the camera, runs past twice, and start getting an idea of what you're doing wrong and what you're doing right. All right, so 50-meter strides, focusing on landing underneath your body and landing on the midfoot area of your body. And there's only one drill that I really want you to do before you start running, now that you're making that change, and it's a very, very basic one, is actually doing a couple of high knees and then running through it normally. So you would start with a couple of high knees and then normal running. And you would do that a couple of times before every single run that you do. And your goal is, when you start making that change, is just to get the running form right for 5 or 10 minutes of that run. So slowly, gradually making that change. Probably the most important thing with changing your own running form is you understanding and feeling what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong. So even though it might sound strange, but you do want to record yourself running once every 3 or 4 months, or if you're just changing something out, you can really record yourself once every few weeks to make sure that that change you want to make, like landing on that midfoot, landing underneath your body, is on track. You know, personally, for the last 8 years, I've been running half a marathon every single day of the year, but still every few months I'll still record myself and just make sure that my running form is on track and I'm not getting lazy. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, because in the next video we are going to be going through the front view that you've recorded yourself, and we're going to be analyzing how you can improve your running form by looking at yourself front on. Also, a massive thank you to all of you who've been ordering Bix Hydration in the last few weeks. We've definitely seen a couple of orders that are coming through YouTube, so thank you very much. It definitely means a lot to our small company, and hopefully you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace. You can actually make a last long and change. English hard very. Your body needs that time to adjust to make that transition